Oh, earthquake! 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 Good morning, Washington. It's the Valentine's Day edition of Dave TV. We're looking at subchannels with a couple back in the summer of '09. The FCC said, "Hey, we're going to allow TV stations to broadcast in digital, full time. That's all they're going to be allowed to broadcast in. And but the other nice thing about digital is that TV stations can run subchannels, so they can run, you have your main channel, and then they can run two or three or whatever other channels underneath. So I'm going to give you a quick scan of what we get here in the Northern Virginia area. Yes, okay, this is channel 50. This is one of their subchannels. It's Antenna TV. And then we get channel 9 with their Doppler radar. Doppler 9000 in HD, which is really an SD. Doug Hill's Weather Now on one of channel 7's channels. We get Retro Television Network here on one of channel 7's sub-channels, and of course they're running Bachelor Fun. There's the late great John Forsythe, good actor there. I always liked him. This TV, which is another channel 50 sub-channel. There's Bob Hope movie, Bob Hope Lucille Ball. Actually, this is not a bad movie either. I'll have to watch that as soon as I'm done here. Universal Sports, which is a channel 4 sub-channel. And then we have channel 4's Washington Nonstop channel, which is actually, to be honest with you, it's not too bad. You can actually get some nice, I believe, Wendy Rieger, she does a porn show on it. It's kind of interesting. She kind of runs around in her bra and panties. A nice channel there. Okay, so then, let's see, we have to skip up to 270 on the cable here for some more sub-channels. Oh, we got to go over to here. Hold on. We go to, okay, channel 26, the public television station here in Washington, has a bunch of sub-channels. They've got Create, and they've got a kids sub-channel called Kids, and they've got then they run their main signal on a sub-channel for some crazy idea. Maryland Public Television has MPT2, which has actually quite a nice variety of some shows on here. A lot of gardening stuff and home stuff and This Old House stuff. And then they have a Spanish channel. The cable box is locking up! The cable box is locking up! Veme, or however it's pronounced, the Spanish channel which MPT runs. And then we have WMDO has a second channel here, LATV, I believe it's called. And then we have channel 30, which is WNBC, and they have a whole bunch of sub-channels. They run their Worldview International stuff, so we get the main Worldview channel here, and then we get NHK, which is the English language Japanese channel there, Metro Chinese Network, which is in Chinese. I believe that's from Taiwan. We get RT, which is a Russian network, which is actually really quite good. A news channel in English. Quite a good channel there. And then, of course, there's Al Jazz on their 5th sub-channel. And then they combine with channel 53, which is WNBT down in Goldvein, and they run 5 more sub-channels, including, what is this now? Looks like a Euro news thing. We get France 24, which is another good news channel on here, which is in English. And then RT's Spanish programming. And then a VTV4, which is a Vietnamese channel, I believe. And then Euro News on one of their sub-channels. So those are the sub-channels we get. It looks like a good, I don't know, something like 15, 17 sub-channels. So that's pretty neat. Pretty neat indeed. So that's the great, wonderful thing about digital television. And you can get most of those sub-channels over the air, too, with your antenna. You don't need cable for it. I wanted to tell you one really cool thing that happened to me over the weekend. I was doing an interview for the AM podcast. The DC AM is one of our advertisers, and the guy does a podcast there. And I was talking to him, And this was about 5 o'clock on Saturday evening, and I'm watching the TeleTube, and Howard Stern's Private Parts is on. Okay, a really cool movie, wonderful radio movie. It actually stars Howard Stern, came out in '97. And they're running it on one of the HBO channels. And I'm told during the podcast that Howard's on Twitter, and he's actually commenting about the movie while it's running. So I punch up Howard Stern's Twitter page, twitter.com Howard Stern, and sure enough, there's Howard commenting on every scene in the movie. It's kind of wild, you know. We filmed this scene, and we filmed this scene, Paul Giamatti, and did this, and he said this, and we cut that out. Really neat stuff. So that was a little bit surreal to actually think me and Howard are actually watching the same movie on television. By the way, just wanted to give you a DVR alert. If you've got a TiVo or a DVR or whatever, one of my favorite movies of all time is Radio Days. I can't see anything there. A Woody Allen movie about the early days of radio in the 40s and 50s and stuff, back when he was a kid, I guess mainly the 40s. Wonderful movie. Well, it's going to be carried on Turner Classic Movies tomorrow, which is Tuesday, the 15th, at 4:30. So if you've never seen that movie, I highly recommend it. Called Radio Days, and it's a Woody Allen movie, and it is wonderful. I believe it has the lady who's what's her name? Julie Kavner. She's Marge Simpson's voice, but she's a good actress too. Interesting thing in the Post on Sunday, they did a nice little thing on why cable costs what it does. So you have cable TV, and it says the average cable bill is $83.50, and it tells you where all that $83.50 goes for your cable TV service. Basically, capital costs about $13 of it, programming costs about $33 of it, operating costs about $30 of it, and the cable company, to be honest with you, only makes about $6. So out of that $80-some cable bill, they're only making $6 off you every month, which is surprising. But poor cable company, huh? Feel sorry for them. Anyhow, ESPN programming alone, just for the main ESPN channel, costs $4 a month. Fox Sportsnet, $2.37, TNT, 99 cents, NFL Network, 75 cents, USA Network, 55 cents, MTV, 33 cents. That's what your cable company pays, and then they pass the cost on to you, thankfully. So anyhow, your $80-some cable bill, they're only making $6 off you. So do feel sorry for your poor cable company there. Love this. Walmart editorial today. Washington Post editorializes on Walmart, whether Walmart should be opening up stores in the district, and they say yes, of course, and I tend to agree with that. I don't think it's a bad idea. But interesting thing, one of the things I really wish the Post would do a better job of is disclosing the fact that, it's advertising in favor of some of its major advertisers. Walmart is a major advertiser in the Washington Post, and at least they ought to mention in their editorial, hey, this is a major advertiser, and we're supporting them. When they talk about Comcast, or when they talk about Kaiser, or when they talk about some defense contractor, they really ought to, when they editorialize on them, they really ought to say, hey, folks, this is a major advertiser. And you know that if Walmart opens up stores in D.C., the Washington Post is going to benefit with a lot of ads, a lot of those Sunday circular things. So anyhow, I really think that they ought to be a little more open about that. Interesting, I dug this up out of the archives. We're going to spend some more time with this in the upcoming future. The Washington Radio and Television Directory from 1951. And it goes through here and he shows you all the different personalities who were big on the dial back then. And a lot of cool people in here. And one of them, of course, was the late, great Arthur Godfrey. There's old Arthur. You over the hill. Remember he did a song called You Over the Hill, Brother? You over the hill. Well, that's an old song. My grandparents had that on an old 78. And Arthur used to do the show. I used to do a show on WTOP, a national show, actually. He was kind of a cross between Paul Harvey and Rush Limbaugh, kind of a right-wing politics guy. Throwing a little bit of David Letterman into him there, but remember he had a big old ranch or whatever out in Leesburg, and the Leesburg Airport, I believe, is it called Arthur Godfrey Field today? I don't know, but it was, or it is, or it was. Whatever. Some more from Dave's record collection today. Anne Clark, we're into the C's now. She's a really cool British songstress. I don't know if she's still making music or not, but really some neat stuff here from the early '90s, late '80s. If you can find some Anne Clark, check her out. And of course, some Clash. Of course, one of my all-time favorite bands. Got some Clash on CD here. And well, this is probably my favorite Clash album, London Calling. A lot of good stuff on that. The Guns of Brixton. The title tune, Clamp Down Revolution Rock. Love this album. And, of course, my guilty pleasure. I know it. I actually have some Coldplay. I know. I don't know. You know, I realize that it ain't cool to have Coldplay, but I do like some of their stuff. This is a nice album. X and Y, Talk, Speed of Sound. You know, whatever. What the heck. And let you know, I'm a speaker! I'm a speaker! Well, what else do we got here for you? I got a lot more stuff to do. Don't have the time today. We'd like to keep these little things at about 10 minutes a plop. But in a future episode, we'll look at the radio dial, the DC radio dial from the mid-'60s. And look at some TV shows. Remember Flipper? We'll interview Flipper. And this looks like more like this may be the 60s too. Lillian Russell on the Capitol Movie Classic on Channel 5. Here's the movie schedule for Channel 5 for the mid-'60s. The Big Sky, Suspicion. Now, Suspicion is a great movie. Murder My Sweet, a really good film noir. I have a huge collection of film noir. His Kind of Woman, another really cool Robert Mitchum movie. Wow, they're running some really cool film noir stuff on Channel 50 back in the 60s. All right, folky dokes, that's it for today. The Valentine's Day, the Valentine's Day edition of Dave TV. And by the way, I'm just talking about Howard Stern. I'm going to be playing one of these days some clips from his DC 101 April Fool's parody from, I think it was 1981, where he flipped the format of the rock station to be really sappy, middle-of-the-road music. So we will get to that one of these days, so just to whet your appetite there. And don't forget to stay